Joining me in the room podcast to talk about his welterweight title fight happening at Combat FC 4 on Friday, June 16th, is the Warhawk, Jonathan Piersma. What's up, John? Welcome to the show once again.
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, big announcement. You're fighting Kemran Lachinov for the Combat FC inaugural welterweight title, man. A huge fighter out of New England. He's coming off an Ultimate Fighting spot, which he lost against a dude that actually won the contract, man. How excited are you to get back in there and fight for another New England MMA welterweight belt?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited just to have a fight in general. I kind of wanted to fight a little sooner than that, coming off my last fight, but a couple things didn't work out and a couple things fell through. So this was as soon as I could get in there, but it was a good opportunity. So yeah, it's gonna be a good opportunity. I get to get in there, grab another belt for a different promotion, and it's just another step forward.
Well, before we get into the matchup and Cameron and that, you're coming off a great TKO on the last Combat FC 3, where you took out a jiu-jitsu black belt and beat him at his own game, bro. How you feeling about that fight and your performance in there?
Yeah, good. We were happy with it. Kind of how we expected the fight to go. I got to show a little more striking than normal, so that was nice. Still didn't show nearly everything that we've been working on, but it was a good performance. Always happy with the finish. So, yeah, we're happy with it. No damage, no injuries, so it was good.
Well, you're fighting back for a Combat FC on Fight Pass, which eyes all over the world and big in the United States here for our fighters, man. How excited are you to get back into their cage? I know the previous fight was for the NEF welterweight title where you came away with a unanimous decision there. Smaller cage, Combat FC, a little bigger cage. How'd you feel in their cage?
Good. I liked it. It was, yeah, the cage was a lot bigger. I liked the venue. The cage was, I think, pretty much brand new, or they probably used it a couple times, so it was really nice. Yeah, no, I liked everything about the Combat FC show. The venue ran smooth, treated me well. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm happy to be going back to fight for them.
Well, as far as this fight coming up, my man, Kemran Lachinov, he held 2 titles in New England, one for reality fighting, and he held the exact title that you hold for NEF, the welterweight title. He had that before moving to Bellator and then eventually getting on the Ultimate Fighter show. He has been on the shelf for a couple of years since that show ended. Hasn't fought welterweight in, I would say, almost 3 years. He went on the show as a middleweight. How you feeling about this matchup, and how did it actually come about? Because we haven't heard much of Cameron in New England in some time.
Yeah, I'm excited about the matchup, the opportunity. Yeah, he's a tough guy. Got a pretty good resume. Like you said, his last fight, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. I don't know how it came about. I don't really know how he came about, but after the last fight, we had mentioned that I'd be interested in coming back and fighting for the title for Combat FC, and a couple other things in like late April and May that I was trying to get a fight for fell through, and then they Combat FC talked to Lars and threw his name out there, and we said, sure, let's do it. And then it took a couple weeks where we were kind of waiting to see if he was in or out, and then finally, just recently, a couple weeks ago, they finally said accepted it, and he was in. So we said, all right, let's do it.
Well, looking at Cameron's fights, I've been following him for some time. He's fought all over New England, has a ton of fights for Bellator, and a great winning record there. Scouting him, what are you seeing out of him? I know he's more of a grappler than a striker, but he's not afraid to stand there and trade with his opponents. What do you see out of this guy, compared to your game?
Yeah, he's a really tough, gritty guy. We don't. He's not super high level skill set in any aspect really of fighting. But he's just super tough. He comes forward, and it's probably his biggest attribute he has is his toughness. From the film we watched, you can hit him with a bat and he'll keep coming. Um, so that's probably his best attribute is he just outlasts guys a lot of times. Like he'll just keep coming. He'll wear guys down until guys run out of steam and they just get sick of you know hitting him basically. And he's able to get on top of them or wear them out and win fights. And but like that being said, he's a decent wrestler. He's a decent grappler. He's a decent striker. He's decent everywhere. He's just a really tough guy, and that's going to be the biggest challenge. And I'm looking to come here and make a statement to finish this guy. A guy that's known for his toughness and a guy that no one finishes. He beats everyone based off his toughness. I'm looking to go in there and make a statement by finishing him.
Well, as far as him, he's coming off the Ultimate Fighter, like I said. It'll be 2 years in May since that fight. He fought on that show as a middleweight, which was, kind of bizarre as far as us New Englanders. I mean, you got to take a shot when you take a shot, but he went in there, as the smaller guy. He went against Brian Battles, who actually, has a contract for the UFC now. He lost in unanimous decision, but he stood in there and, like you said, he toughed it out, gritted it out. Seeing him come back down to welterweight, do you think that's going to be a challenge for him, coming from the the middleweight division and making his way back to welterweight? Because he's not, I think Cameron's in his 30s now. Do you think that's going to have a little effect on, on his performance?
I don't know. That just depends what he's been doing in the last couple of years. It's been a couple of years. So I think when we fought, it'll be over 2 years since he last fought. So I guess that just depends what he's been doing in that 2 years. I don't know if he's just been sitting around, not really training. Then yeah, it might affect him. I don't know, but I mean, I don't think that's going to make a big difference. I think he fought his whole career at 170. I don't think he was a huge 170. I mean, he was a thick guy, but I don't think he was like a massive 170 by any means. So I'm sure he wasn't cutting too much weight to fight on the show. He probably just got his opportunity, got to take it. The same way if I got offered the show at 185, I'd go too. But I don't think that's going to make a big difference. Really, like I said, I don't think he's a massive 170. So, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what he's been doing in that 2 years. So it depends. We'll see how he shows up. But we're going to be ready for the best version of him, and we're going to be ready. I'm going to be the best version of myself. So. For his sake, hopefully he's been training. Hopefully he shows up in shape, ready to go, because I will.
Well, looking back at Cameron's fights, he likes the leg lock game. He's got a couple of finishes that way. He actually fought on Bellator. He lost the decision in that fight, but he ended up tearing up the guy's knee, and the guy hasn't fought in 3 years since he last fought Cameron. Is that something you have to be, watch out for? Is his leg lock game, him diving for a leg, or is that something like your top pressure is just too much for these guys, and you're not really affected by what he's going to do?
Yeah, we've been watching film and stuff, and he has one specific move that really he goes for that leads him to these knee bars. I wouldn't really say on the ground he's like a high level leg locker by any means. Like I've trained a lot of guys who are a lot better at leg locks, but he's got one specific setup he uses from actually like standing where he'll roll into it. That's where he always catches guys. So we watched that. We'll be prepared for that. I won't put myself in a situation to get caught in that. But yeah, like I said, I'm not. I mean, I'm going to be aware of it. I'm not going to just not give him any respect. I'm not going to just leave my leg out there. Like I said, I'm not super worried about that. If it comes to grappling, I'm super confident with anyone I fight. Like this last guy I fought, he's a black belt. Everyone's like, oh, he's so good off his back, this and that. And, I took him down, just smashed him, and he couldn't get anything off. So as far as his grappling, like he's a good grappler. He's seems like he's going to be hard to hold down. He's scrambly. But there's no certain aspect that I'm super worried about. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be aware of it. We're going to be careful of it.
Well, you mentioned, the last fight, your striking got better, and that striking set up that finish in that fight. As far as this training camp, is that something you're really focusing on, trying to get your striking up to par with how great of a grappler you are?
Yeah, that's not with that doesn't go with any camp. That just goes with every day. Every day I'm trying to be a better striker. Every day I'm trying to get that level up to my level of grappling, which I don't think it's as far off as people realize because I haven't shown it. But in the gym, like my coaches and training partners see me, my striking, and know it's a lot better than what I've shown, and I know that, and I just got to show it, and so yeah, obviously in this fight we're really working that hard because this is a kind of a fight where I'm not really sure where it's going to take place. I don't know if it's going to take more so in the grappling. I don't know if it's going to take place more so in the standing striking aspect. So we're just going to be prepared for everything.
Well, the last time you were in New England, bro, you were helping out some training partners for their fights, and
Yeah.
actually, some of these same training partners are fighting in May, right before you're fighting. Man, how excited are you to be able to get back into the gym with dudes that are actually training to get in the cage about the same time you are?
Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice to have people getting ready for fights at the same time as you, because they're like locked in, totally locked into the training, getting ready for a fight like you. So it's nice to have that. Um, with a couple of my training partners, and we got a couple other people in my gym getting ready for amateur fights and stuff. So yeah, it's nice to have people that are locked in and focused and taking the training seriously with you, so you can have training partners that are in shape and giving you good work.
Well, we are a couple of months or so away from, June 16th, this welterweight title. As far as training camp, when do you actually put the pedal to the metal and your mind is set for this fight? I mean, we're 8 weeks out. Are you already in training camp as far as for this fight? Or when does that actually start if it hasn't started?
So I've kind of known about this fight for a couple weeks. So like for a couple weeks, I've been essentially getting ready for this fight. Like as in, we're watching film and we're starting to work stuff for this fight specifically and in that aspect. But like this Monday will be 9 full weeks. So this Monday coming up is like when I'm officially starting my training camp, quote unquote. So really, the only difference with that is going to be, my diet locks down. No more drinking. No more, eating whatever I want. I try to stay as healthy as I can out of camp, but I like to have some fun here and there. But so this Monday, 9 weeks out, we're totally locking down, and so for the next 9 weeks until this fight, I'll be totally locked in. All I'll be doing is just eat, sleep, training, and ready for this fight.
Nice. Well, a couple more questions, my friend. As far as this fight, you come away with a victory. This is your second welterweight title in New England, fighting a dude that was on the Ultimate Fighter show and has held a couple of belts in New England as himself. He's a big name in Bellator. Like you said, a gritty opponent who always brings it. Where do you think this fight puts you as far as in the eyes of the UFC? Where is your ultimate goal? I mean, do you think that will be, your next stop, next stop or opportunity after you get a win here on the 16th?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how that works. I don't really, obviously I don't control that. So I don't know. I would like to think I go in here, I put on a good performance. I stopped this guy within the 5 rounds, a guy who's known for his toughness, who no one stops. A guy with a 10-3 record, was on the Ultimate Fighter. Just known as like a really good fighter on the regional scene. I'd like to think I go in there and put a good performance that, my next opportunity is, for the UFC, whether it be, just called up for the UFC, contender series, whatever it is. Yeah, I'd like to think so. That would be my next opportunity. But at the end of the day, I don't really control that, so I don't worry about it too much. I'm just worried about showing up, putting on a performance, get another finish, and then if I just keep finishing these dudes, eventually, I'm gonna get my chance. They can't hold me out forever.
Well, my friend, I know you mentioned that you're starting training camp full throttle on Monday, but I got a question about a past opponent who had some words about you and
Yeah.
is looking to, get a scrap with you. And me mentioning on social media, a win over Cameron, this fight is not going to happen regionally. It'll probably be in the UFC because both of you guys will be there. But Charlie Radke has had some tough words to say about you after capturing his title not too long ago. Is there anything you want to say to him? I don't know if there's chatter going back with you guys on social media, but he had a lot to say on Fight Pass. Anything you want to say to that guy? For a future meetup, possibly in the UFC.
Nah, not much. That dude's a pussy. The only reason he's running his mouth now is because he knows we're not gonna fight. I mean, at least for on the regional scene, probably. I got a fight booked. He's with CFFC. I'm not even fighting with him right now. So yeah, he's running his mouth because whatever. He knows he's not gonna fight me. He doesn't want to take a fight with me. I wanted that fight ever since that first time we fought. And he was nowhere to be found or nowhere to be heard. But yeah, no, he runs his mouth now because it's whatever. He knows we're not going to fight. He's a pussy, and he wants nothing to do with fighting me again because he can say whatever he wants. He knows how that fight would go the second time. On my worst night of my career, and the best night of his career, he was able to squeak out a split decision that was questionable. So yeah, I got nothing to say, and hopefully someday we do get to run it back down the road, and I'm gonna end that guy. So.
Excellent,
Yeah,
my man.
say he's a pussy.
Well, that was enough for me, my man. I love it. Well, John, awesome with this opportunity. We can't wait. It's going to blow up the regional circuit here. And, there's going to be tons of eyes on this fight all over the country, all over the world. Combat FC is a big promotion taking off. Friends with Dana White on UFC Fight Pass. So this is your opportunity right here, bro, I think, to get to that UFC. So congratulations on, stepping it up and taking on a tough competitor with Kemran, man.
Yeah, man, that's kind of that's been my path. I don't get the easy fights. I'm not like some of these guys who pad their records up to 7-8-0 and get their chance. I've had to take the hard road, but it's all good. That's it's going to benefit me in the long run. So keep bringing them, and I'll keep winning fights. And when I get there, I'll be ready.
Excellent, my man. Well, a pleasure as always, John. With that said, man, any shout outs, anything other than Instagram for social media, sponsors, anything you want to say, bro, before I let you go and get to training camp?
No, just shout out to all my teammates, coaches, training partners, everyone that supports me, all my past sponsors. I'm gonna start doing sponsorship stuff soon for this fight. So hoping to have all those guys on board, which I'll probably imagine I will. I have some great people around me, some great sponsors that really helped me out to this point. And I'd love to add some more for this camp, really help take it to the next level. So we'll be doing sponsorship stuff soon. And yeah, anyone interested, reach out to me, and I'd love to have you. But yeah, I'm excited. 9 weeks, we're going to go in there, grab another title, and take one more step forward.
Excellent, my man. Well, like I said, bro, always a pleasure getting you on here, and congratulations on a great matchup, going for another belt. And, also, you are the #1 welterweight in New England, man, and that's a great place to be. And eyes are all over you, my man, so you deserve it all. So we'll see you in 9 weeks, man, getting it done at Combat FC 4, bro.
Can't wait.
All right, my man.